What's going on, guys? Welcome into another episode of the Gamer's Edge Spotlight. Got a special guest for you today, and I'm glad to see that you're back safe. And I'm gonna want to hear all about your adventure into the Pokemon world. Tanner, how are we doing today?
Doing fantastic, Cody. Glad to be here, man. I feel very lucky to be in the position that I've been in with esports most of my life, being able to travel around playing Pokemon, or being a part of just the Pokemon scene in general, doing breaks back in the early 2020s. Also, on top of that, I get to play games like Teamfight Tactics, strategy games like that. I got into streaming by playing Magic the Gathering. It's one of the first people to ever be on the Twitch platform when it changed over from Justin TV. And yeah, just I've been a gamer my whole life. It's bred into me. It's what I live for. It's what I do. It's what I breathe. It's what I eat.
Exactly. See that nerd vibe going on. You see my magic stuff back here. I do have also a Dungeons and Dragons going on. So we got the
Love it.
nerd vibe going on over here in full force. Also an anime fan as well. I do see a lot of the Pokemon in the back, but I see the haiku poster poking out
Oh,
back there as
oh,
well. So
a fellow Haikyuu
hey, the
enjoyer.
the
Okay,
final movie coming out this year as well. So shout out
two.
to them.
We get
Yeah,
two of them.
yeah.
Two of them. Sad though. Sad man. Why? Dude, we got three matches. They're gonna give us two movies. That's a whole episode on itself, bro. That's my favorite anime. I mean, like, I'll just bust it out. Let me clear these freaking notifications real quick. We don't need these things on the screen, but what we do need to show off is look at this. Look at this. My boy Hinata, Shoyo getting pumped up. That's
See,
that's how I
I'm
live,
gonna
man. I
send
love
you a
Haikyuu.
video off screen of when I met his voice actor, and he
Oh,
did a shout out, and he was like, "Hey, what's going on, guys?" And he
that's
shouts
so
out the
sick.
podcast. So,
That's
and
awesome.
I'm a big fan of. Well, I have my hoodie on, but I'm a big fan of Air Gear, and I actually have the tattoo of the logo right here.
Very cool.
And I guess I have like
Oh, let's
posters
go.
and stuff from going to cons and meeting casts and fucking getting autographs and shit from
Yeah,
the
yeah.
cast.
I got that stuff out in my living room, so I can't take my camera out there. Unfortunately, I'm not that high tech with the stream these days yet, but in the works, in the works. I got the signatures of Kirito and Asuna's voice actors in English. They're dub actors, so
Let's
that's
see.
that's framed out in the living
Now
room.
now my camera's like, nah, bro, we're gonna keep panning back up to that.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
just
yeah.
gonna
Just let
leave
me
it
up.
alone before I end up messing it up more. Uh well, I definitely want to try and get into a little bit with you. Early days here, you did start off, of course, in Halo. I know you talked about starting with Magic the Gathering with your streaming, but your
Yeah,
esports journey, I believe, started with the MLG events for Halo 2 and Halo 3, correct?
correct, correct. And I also played like card games as well growing up. So I played like Yu-Gi-Oh. I was the regional champion for Colorado, went undefeated for the trading card game in its early days. Then I also did play Magic as a youth in the Junior Scholarship Series, or the JSS is what it was known as. And I was like top three in North America for that. Won all my money for school. Got to pay for college with a Magic scholarship, basically, which is kind of cool.
Hell yeah. And see, this goes to show you parents, if you're out there, let your kids play games, let them be nerds, because you never know what the future holds. We were talking a little bit off stream as well to some of the events that you went to. You did just come back from, I believe, Portland, correct?
Correct. Yeah, I was in Portland this past week and I was vending. I wasn't playing, so I was just there slinging the cardboard, getting all the players ready up on their decks. My brother owns a store out in Salt Lake City. Shout out to Kayfabe Games. If you guys are ever out in the Utah area, West Jordan to be specific, get yourself some good cardboard up in those sleeves.
Heck yeah. So, what is that like going to an event as a vendor versus as a player?
Man, so as a player, you have this thing called freedom, it feels like, right? You can go wherever you want. You can like hang out. You can see people. As a vendor, you're at your booth. You're vending. You're there to do a job. You're getting paid hourly to be there. But also at the same time, it's customer service work at the end of the day, something that I know I've been doing most of my life before I got into full-time streaming. So yeah, I like doing sales. It's especially when it's something I'm passionate about, I know a lot about, it makes it easy. When it's like door-to-door sales or something like that, that ain't it. That ain't it. Pokemon cards, they sell themselves. People are coming to you for what they need. They're like, yo, you got this card? Heck yeah, I got this card, bro. We're a store. What else do you think we do? We carry cards. So that was probably my favorite part. Got to see some friends from the Magic days that came out to play Pokemon and stuff. And yeah, it's just always good to see that and make some new friends as well. I think the best part is when you're a vendor, if you're working for a booth, they usually will like buy you a meal. Like that's like kind of like the unspoken like rule of, oh, I work for you, so we'll get you a meal. And they always just take you out to bomb dinners, right? Like my first night I got ramen, my second night I got freaking like Southern fried chicken. Like it was a good time. It was a good time.
Heck yeah, that's what's up. Gotta cash in on that food. I definitely know about that. I've been in music for a bit, and I've went and filled in for bands, and it seems like the road manager, when there's a fill in, man, we'd go out for dinners and stuff like that, and on their dime, and it's like, yes, love
Yeah, it
this.
just feels good. Like food's better when it's free, right? Like that's
Exactly,
just like
exactly.
like food's always good. I love food. I might look like the skinniest fat kid you've ever seen, but that is in fact the truth. Like I just love food. And nothing, no body shaming. It's just like a comment. My bad, my bad. But realistically, I just love food. Food is so good. Like it's the essence of life, man. I mean, it makes you work better, it makes you play better, and it just tastes better when it's free. I can't lie.
Yeah, and I'll take a home cooked as well, or a
Facts.
sit down
Facts.
restaurant cook over fast
Yeah.
food any day of
Oh,
the week.
fast food, the worst. Like that's like my New Year's resolution this year, trying to cut out fast food consumption almost entirely. But I do love Cane's and I do love In-N-Out, and they are way too close to my house.
Oh, see, no, we're gonna have to fight now. In and out. I'm in Texas,
Yo,
so it's
okay,
watered burger all
we don't have
day.
Whataburger here, man. All right, like they don't have that here. If they did, I'd get down on some Whataburger. It's also very good. In-N-Out's right next to me, man. It's like that or McDonald's. What
I,
are you
I
picking?
oh
You
yeah,
know?
I'm going In and Out over
Yeah,
McDonald's any day
all
of the
right, all
week.
right. Just
So
making sure. And like,
McDonald's
dude,
is like out of 1 through 10, give me a -10 on
yeah,
McDonald's. Like,
yeah. Like the only thing I want at McDonald's is breakfast. Like I will
see, I can't
cheat for
even do
McDonald's
that.
on breakfast, but dude, you can get like two McMuffins for $5. That's a steal.
No, I can't
And it's
even
right
do
next
it.
to my gym, dude. That's the issue. Is I walk out, I'm like, I need calories. I gymmed. Oh, hello, breakfast. I'll see you in my belly. And then I regret it. And then I instantly regret it.
See,
So
that's the
real,
problem is the
yeah, no, you're not
regret
wrong.
comes in.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Like it's like eating your insides, you think? It probably is. It's not a thought. It's probably happening.
No, give me
You're
that
becoming a
Chick-fil-A
flood.
breakfast.
Agreed. Chick-fil-A breakfast is pretty good. It's just not right next to my gym. So
Got to make the
yeah.
sacrifice.
True. Chick-fil-A breakfast. Haven't had that in a minute. The little chicken minis, dude.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
See,
Hell yeah.
now I just put something back on your radar for the coming
Yep.
days.
Yep.
Now
No,
you
no fast food. No fast food.
Oh yeah, sorry. I
No,
don't
you're
mean
good.
to
You're good.
tempt you
You're
like
good.
that. I don't mean to tempt you. Now you did talk about TFT. For somebody like myself, I'm not super familiar with Teamfight Tactics.
Mhm.
Can you kind of tell me about it and what got you into it, and what's the
Yeah.
allure into the esports side?
So if you are a strategy game fan, imagine instead of putting pieces of cardboard down where you're tapping them and you're doing the things and it's like you're putting in the effort, imagine your cards like the old school Yu-Gi-Oh show. They come to life, right? That's what an auto battler is. You take your units, you put them on the board, and they go and fight for you. You just got to position them. You just got to itemize them. And that's what makes it so like appealing to me. My favorite part about Magic or any not limited, strategy card game was the limited format, and which is where you draft your deck, you play from picking up packs, you pick cards out of those packs, you pass them around. That's kind of what auto battlers have. Every time you play, you draft a new team. Every game is different. It's got great replayability. For Teamfight Tactics, it's set up in the world of League of Legends. So if you understand, like, okay, I know who this champion is, I know who this champion is, stuff like that, it kind of gets you into that. And if you don't, well, it gets you into it anyways. You start to learn who those champions are because you're playing with them all the time. They make funny sounds. They like say a thing every single time you pick one, you buy it from your shop. It's like, blah, 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 blah. I'm this guy. And you're like, oh, okay, I know who that person is. They got a voice line. Cool. And yeah, I mean, the allure for me, the biggest part was just like having that replayability where I could play for hours and hours and hours. I mean, I played way too many games this set specifically. I got into this thing called the Box Boot Camp, which was at the beginning of the set. Box, he's one of the biggest League of Legends streamers. Now he's transitioned to Teamfight Tactics. Riot sponsors him with about $40,000 in gifted subs.
Damn.
And for my division, it was 2,500 for first place. And then like there's a bunch of other spots. I ended up getting $400 out of it. 80 gifted subs. Not too bad of a deal there. But yeah, I played like 200 games out the gate. It became like a full-time job. You're living, breathing, eating it. That's just what you do. And Yeah, I've played like 400 games total now. It's too many, but I love it. I love it. And yeah, we had our first LAN in December, answering that question about where the esports side came
Yeah,
into
that was
things.
in Vegas, right?
Yeah, it was in Vegas. First LAN that we ever had. Everybody basically got COVID. 07 to me and all my fallen comrades that all got COVID. Nobody died, I don't think, but we all got COVID, which sucked. So that was awful. But it is what it is. Big convention, hanging out with all the homies, getting to finally meet the faces that we've all been hanging out with in Discords and stuff like that was awesome. Like that was it gave me like OG MLG vibes because it was just so grassroots feeling and everybody was just in a room together playing the game that they loved, being back at it, watching the game that they love, spectating it. You can't get better than that. It just
Yeah.
doesn't get better than that, and there was no like the egos were gone. You see these dudes like K3 Soju was on Cloud9 for a while, averaging 16,000 viewers regularly on his Twitch channel, if not higher than that. And to have him just like you be able to walk up to him and him like know who I was eye opening to me. Like, oh man, like I'm in the right place. Like I'm playing the right game. And that's all I can ask for as a content creator. And then as a competitor, I obviously would have loved to win the Vegas event. That was $100,000 to the winner, 100K. That's life changing money, man. I mean,
Yep.
especially when you know what you're doing with it. I'm not a kid anymore, so I have a pretty good understanding on how to put my money in the places that it needs to be instead of just blowing it on dumb stuff.
Yeah, I feel you on that. Now, with that though, you also did some casting as well. Was that your first time in a casting booth?
So my casting career did start with TFT in terms of like a career. I've done some like fun tournaments on my buddy JT's channel, J2, back a couple years ago now. I'd say it was like 2021 COVID era. We were doing these league tournaments and stuff. And I like got a lot of feedback from people in my DMs on Twitter, like, oh, bro, like, are you going to keep doing this? You're kind of a natural. Like, you're really good at this. And we'd have these feedback forums. And everybody would always be like, what was your favorite part of the tournament? And a lot of people would say zBoy's casting. I was like, oh man, okay. Maybe I do have a knack for this. And my buddy that I had made through Twitter for TFT
Nope.
hit me up and was like, yo, you should start casting. And I was like, oh, tell me more. And I got into Aegis, which is like the grassroots foundation for TFT's amateur competition. Like this is where you come and you start to see, okay, maybe there's more to it than like you sign up for their leagues instead of it being like a qualification through the ladder, which is kind of how it's set up right now. Is you have to be like top 200 in your region to qualify for any of the Riot cups, because they're all called cups essentially. But yeah, I got into casting and I've been doing pretty well. A lot of people have been enjoying them. I've been enjoying them. Looking forward to set 10. Got my first cast on schedule for next Friday night. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, that was my first time being at my first LAN was this year for actually fighting game championships. Earlier back in like, I think that was October,
Was
September.
that the one I think in Denver?
Yeah, it was in Denver. Yep. For South Suburban Esports. And I was doing for them, I did some Tekken. I did some Street Fighter. First time I ever cast in fighting games. It was just hype. The energy for fighting games is unmatched. Those players and that audience in general is just so hype. They're so cutthroat. They love their game so much that it could have zero prizing, and I think they'd still show up like it was for $1 million.
Nice. That is one thing I've yet to cast, but I have put it out there several times. Man, Street Fighter, Tekken, Soul Calibur, hit your boy up. But hey, maybe I have to take a back seat and just let you go ahead and run with that torch. Welcome back in, guys. Don't forget to hit up swiftgripsco.com. Again, that was check out code RIVAL to get your 20% off of your grips. And of course, we do give them away on stream as well. We will be giving some away this Saturday as well on stream. So if you need some controller pads, let us know and we'll get you hooked up. Now back into the action here. What are the plans? I know you said you do have a thing on schedule to do some casting, but what are the plans for zBoywonder going forward? Are we gonna start getting some more TFT on the stream? I know you've been dabbling in a first-person shooter here lately as well.
Yeah, so I primarily do play TFT. That's my main game of choice. We had a long patch, is what the holiday patch is. That's what we call it, which basically a patch usually gets figured out within the first 2 weeks. After about 2 weeks, we start to have a pretty good understanding of the meta, and the games do get a little bit more repetitive in terms of just like what you're doing, what you're trying to do. There's not as much like innovation happening. But now that we just got a new patch here on the 10th, 2 days ago, things are innovation is all over the place. We're still trying to get a grasp of things. I'm literally like losing to crazy monsters and stuff. They have this new portal called Crab Brave. I literally, before we got into this call, I just died to a giant crab that danced on my entire board. I don't know how I feel about it still, kind of beaten down mentally. But yeah, it's a thing and it's pretty fun. And that was cool. But I hope it doesn't happen again because a little sad about it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep,
Now,
man. I'm
did
down bad.
did you clip
I lost to
that?
a crab.
Because I want to see clips of this
I
crab
was
dancing on you.
not live,
Oh.
so and I wasn't recording, so no, I was just living my best life. But I'm sure I'll get a crab brave getting killed by a crab soon. Don't you worry. There are plenty of games to play. Tarkov has definitely been one of my favorite games of first person shooters to play, or survival shooters, or looter shooters, whatever people want to label it as. I love the hyper realism that it has to it. It just scratches my itch. CS has lost some of its player base, so it's not as fun as it was. But also, I kind of re-downloaded WoW Classic, and I'm back in the trap. Ugh.
So you hitting
Yay!
you hitting up dead mines and stuff there with WoW?
About to be. I'm grinding on Season of Discovery. My buddy finally convinced me. He's like, "Hey man, I got a whole guild waiting for you." I'm like, okay, buddy. Okay, okay, okay. And then a couple of my friends launched on that server. And yeah, so we've been grinding some levels out. And I probably would have hit 25 a lot faster than I am right now. But, Pokemon Regionals, went to that, lived my life. But yeah,
Hey,
we'll be on the grind. We'll be on the grind.
but see these new kids have no idea how hard it was to grind to be able to even ride a horse and then to grind to get fast. Now it's like, hey, buy our game for $70 and we give you this flying mount and you're
Right.
just off
Yeah.
off and going.
I remember the WoW TCG when it was coming out when we were kids, and opening cases with my team so that we could get our decks put together. Then everybody like, yo, I get one of the Spectral Tigers. And I didn't play WoW. Like, I didn't play WoW growing up. I was Halo only. Like, that was my game. Played a little bit of Dota on Frozen Throne, but I was such a Halo kid, such an MTG kid, that all my friends were playing WoW. They're like, bro, you got to get into this game. I'm like, yeah, dude, my ADD just can't handle it, bro. Like, me running places, that sounds awful. Like, that sounds like time I'm never getting back. Now I find myself running places, spending time that I'm probably never getting back, but I'm enjoying the hell out of it. It's
Hey,
awkward. It really is.
we get a little bit older, we get a little bit wiser, and unfortunately, we regret some of our decisions in life.
Agreed.
I know I've made a few, and I don't even want to talk about the hours I spent on Shinmu for Dreamcast when it came out.
Yeah.
Uh, so, but that's tell for another time. But what's going on in your personal life outside? Where what can we? Are we ever gonna see any IRL content coming from you?
So I do actually have a buddy with an IRL bag. We've primarily just used it to go to a local anime convention every year that happens at the beginning of August during is that Labor Day week in August? No, it's not Labor Day. Labor Day is when pools open. Memorial Day. Does that sound right? Does that sound like the right
Yeah,
one?
that sounds right.
Yeah. When pools close, right? That's kind of how I think about it. I know that Labor Day is when like pools open, that's summer, and then like pools close around Memorial time. But regardless, it's like the first weekend of August. We go out to that. We usually get the IRL bag up and running. We've done some other IRL stuff on the channel with like food challenges and things like that around town here in Denver. I do have some plans for a few things, as I do owe some makeup streams for subathon incentives that were hit last year. Just haven't had the chance to get to those yet. But yeah, we got like a live statuing where I'm going to be like statuing out in public, and that will be IRL streamed probably this summer, probably around like spring, I would actually say, closer to like April, May-ish, before it gets too hot. and I'm in all this paint and stuff. But so that will definitely be on the docket. We got some other conventions that I'm planning on hitting up. Might try to IRL stream in March when I'm in Vancouver potentially. If I make that happen, that will be the next vending Pokemon regional that I'll be at. So I also want to like try to explore Vancouver a little bit too. Maybe even if my brother's not there running it, I can actually stream it a little bit more. So
Nice. I
yeah,
will say Vancouver is probably the most beautiful place that I have been to. Uh, quick story, be careful who you hang out with there. I got with a group of guys and they were like, "Yeah, let's go swimming." And it was summertime, so we drive up into the mountains and I see people swimming and they go and they just cannonball off the dock, and so I run and I jump in. Mind you, again, I'm from South Texas, so I'm used to, hey, it's summertime, we're going to go swim. The water is like 70, 80 degrees and it feels great. Now, the water is still 40, 50 degrees and it feels great to them, but I almost went into shock.
yeah, I'm
But
sure you did.
the coolest part of it all was they're laughing at me. I get out and we get back in the car and we drive for like 5 minutes maybe up the mountain, and there's natural hot springs where you just go
Yeah,
and chill out and relax. It is beautiful. And then of course the ocean view right there. One of them lived on a boat, had a houseboat, so
that's sick.
we got to go out and party on a houseboat and stuff. It's amazing time, and I think you're really gonna enjoy yourself. Uh, just I hope you brush up on your French and stuff like that, because certain stores you go in and the packaging and stuff's all in just
All in
French.
French. Yeah, yeah. I'll make sure I have one of my French friends with me. I'll use them for that one. I'm working on Japanese right now. That is another thing to look out for. My main IRL goal, and I've been trying to keep this under wraps a little bit, but I mean, special occasion, gotta
Breaking
give you a little
news.
gotta give you a little insight. So it's looking like either October or New Year's. I will be in Japan for my very first time, and I will be IRL streaming almost everything.
Nice. I will definitely be tuning in for that. I My wife and I have said that's a goal, but with 3 kids, we got to
Yeah.
pump them out and get them through high school and stuff before we take off on that. My next IRL, I'm hoping in May, at the end of May, DreamHack Dallas. I
Okay.
should hopefully be there, and I guess I can drop, since you were kind enough to lay something on. I can't say the person's name. All I can say is they're a vice president to one of the features there with DreamHack, and I'm in
Ooh.
talks with them to start season
Pog,
two.
pog, pog, pog.
Uh, with a it'll be the first Gamers Edge podcast, like face to face IRL interview,
Nice.
and it'll be going down with one of the VPs from DreamHack there at DreamHack Dallas.
Love that. There's a chance that I might be at DreamHack Dallas just because all my Magic homies going out there, and on top of that, I am a certified streamer for them. So I might hit up the streamer booth, say what's up. They owe me a couple of streams as I've turned down a few different locations for them. More like I owe them a couple streams. So yeah, yeah. So I think I might show up in Dallas because that's not a bad time to be out there. That's like all right, weather's still kind of chill. So we
Yeah,
did
it's gonna
Austin
be
in
nice.
June.
And
My first ever DreamHack that I streamed from was in June, and it was miserable. My mile walk from my hotel was the worst ever. Austin was a beautiful city, though. It was a lot of fun. At night, it was lit. During the day, my skin was literally melting off my bones. No humidity here in Colorado, man. It's a zero humid state here, right? It's like very dry. So when I get into the humidity and it's hot, I don't know what to do. My brain's freaking out.
see,
It ain't me.
yeah, and Dallas ain't that bad. I lived up in Dallas for a good couple of years. And being from South Texas, I mean, you tell people you're from Texas, and people don't realize, South Texas and North Texas, man, it's
It's
oil
like a
and
different
water.
country.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
different places. Uh,
100%.
but yeah, Dallas isn't too bad. Austin gets a little humid, but I'm in Victoria. I'm an hour from Corpus Christi, so I'm an hour from the coast, 30 minutes to
Yeah,
Port Lavaca. So the humidity here is,
it's crazy.
yeah,
Yeah,
redonkulous here.
nah, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's too much for me, dude. Too much. Too much. Too much.
Well, as of course that starts getting closer, man, we'll have to link up, and if we can both line up DreamHack, man, we'll get together and
Oh yeah.
stream a bit together, some IRL stuff, walking around the venue and everything like that.
Yeah.
That's it's also depending on, I'm gonna knock on wood, school's going good and I've got time to get out there. Because of
Nice.
course that's priority number one. I'm so close to getting that bachelor's that I
Nice.
could taste it.
Very
So I want to
nice. Very
stay
nice.
grinding that.
Yeah, you got this. You got this. School's crazy, dude. School's crazy. I got an audio engineering degree, and I was very lucky to get it as fast as I did because I found out that my school was losing their accreditation. So I did a 4-year degree in 2 years. Went to school for like 12 hours a day for 2 years. It was something. It was something. At least it was something I enjoyed. It wasn't a whole lot of like school because I had gotten most of those credits out of the way. But dude, hats off to you for getting after it.
Man, see, we're just gonna end up building a dream team here. My buddy Peewee, who I used to co-cast Call of Duty with, he actually just graduated with his bachelor's, and he's a music producer now.
Oh,
So get you, get him. I'm going for my bachelor's in broadcasting because I want to be a
oh,
sports broadcaster.
yeah,
So man, we're just gonna create this
love it.
triangle here, and the Triforce is gonna connect, and we're just gonna make this all-star team and put
I
out
love
some
it.
great stuff.
Hell yeah, I'm for it. I'm for it. I have connections in TV, dude. So let me know when you're done.
Shoot, I will definitely hit you up and let you
Yeah.
know. But go ahead and let everybody know where they can reach you, what your schedule's looking like. That way they can make sure to hit you with the follow.
Yeah. So I stream almost every single day except for like the weekends. I'd say I take off at least Saturday or Sunday, starting at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. zBoywonder on Twitch.tv. Most importantly, though, you can find me on all my socials: zBoywonder TV on Twitter, Instagram. And is there any? Oh yeah, TikTok. TikTok. I've been dropping TikToks as well. Those things been popping off lately. And there's a YouTube as well. I got a podcast called Otaku Social Club. It's a weekly anime podcast. That's on Friday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern as well. You can find those on my Twitch channel and Otaku Social Club on YouTube.
Nice. Make sure y'all go hit my boy Tanner up. His content is great. Obviously, I didn't know anything about team fight tactics, but watching him play it and stuff, and seeing the passion that he has, and seeing him go out to the event has definitely piqued my interest. So I had to have my boy on, had to have him on talking about it and stuff. So make sure y'all go check it out as well. And thank you for taking the time to talk with me today. And now I'm
Anytime.
even looking more forward to DreamHack so we can
Yeah,
kick it in
yeah.
real life. Uh,
Absolutely, dude. We'll have to get some food. That's like I said, I'm a passionate dude about food. So we'll have to find something delicious. If there's a ramen shop that's close, we're hitting it up.
Yeah,
My
if
treat. I got
if
you on the ramen.
it's been like 8 years since I lived in Dallas, but there's this little hole in the wall Mexican food joint, and I
Oh,
don't mean
I'm down.
Tex-Mex. I mean they're
Yeah.
like my wife has to order because I don't know Spanish, so she
Yeah.
has to go order the food for me
Oh,
because they
nice. They
don't
definitely have
speak.
like lingua or
Yeah,
something.
they
Yeah.
don't speak English, anything like
Yep.
that. So yeah, it
I
it
got a couple
was
spots like that around me out here where I'm at, and my buddy's fluent, and I just call him. I'm like, "Yo, order this for me." And like, yeah, he just does it through the phone. I'm like, "Thanks, bro. Peace."
got that connect. I feel you.
Yep. Like I said, I'll find a French friend. He'll speak French for me in Vancouver. I don't. I just worry about Japanese right now. That's the language I'm working on. So we'll get there. We'll
Gotcha.
get there.
Yeah, I'm gonna be looking forward to your stream from the big red sun over there. Uh, but this will do it for this episode, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Tanner, again, thank you so much for coming on and being a
Thanks for having
guest.
me.
Make sure you go hit that sub over on YouTube as well. If you're looking for the Gamers Edge podcast, that's going to be out on all major streaming platforms. The latest episode with Mike Schwartz, the head of esports, OG Esports, again, that's the Red Bull sponsored OG Esports, is out now. Luminosity Rocket League coach Greg Raw Greg is going to be our next guest. We're going to be filming that episode in the coming week. So shout out to Greg for, early shout out to Greg for being on. Be looking forward to that episode. But until next time, guys, peace.